Hi, I'm Ron Halbritter, Technical Advisor for Legendary Auto Interiors, and I'd like to welcome you to Legendary Studio, where today we're going to show you the proper way to install our 1968-69 Firebird custom style with the Comfort Weave inserts. Now we're going to show you how to prepare our seat frame with our installation kit 3, which includes our seat kit board, our burlap, our paper-coated listing wire, the 2-inch felt, a dust mask, and a layer of cotton that goes over the top of the burlap. Now together with Randy Brown and Legendary Auto Interiors, we're going to show you why Legendary Auto Interiors is #1 with collectors, restorers, and enthusiasts worldwide.
Our first step will be to anchor a layer of burlap over the top of the seat springs. This will provide some additional support for your molded foam so the molded foam does not seep down through the seat springs. Now you want to pull some tension on the burlap while you're anchoring the burlap to the seat springs around the outside perimeter. Now you want to cut out the areas where there are any seat hardware that's bolted to the seat or any seat bumpers or where the seat top attaches to the seat bottom. Our next step will be to attach a layer of 2-inch felt around the outside perimeter. This will provide some additional protection so the seat frame does not prematurely wear through our molded foam kit. Our next step will be to cut out the channel and draw with a black Sharpie down through the molded foam so we know where to attach our paper-coated listing wire. Now our paper-coated listing wire, we need to bend a 90-degree angle on the end of it so it doesn't travel front to back or side to side. Now you want to anchor the paper-coated listing wire on top of the burlap. You want to secure your hog ring around the paper-coated listing wire, through the burlap, and around your seat springs. And you want to carefully bend a 90-degree angle on the ends of the listing. After that is complete, we need to put a layer of cotton over the top of the burlap. This will help fill out your seat during your seat cover installation. Now the cotton is easier to just pull apart rather than cut it with a pair of scissors. You want to feel down through the cotton where the paper-coated listing wire is attached and open that seam up so we have room to hog ring our seat cover down through our molded foam and down through our cotton. You'll see it can be cut with a pair of scissors, but it's a lot easier to just pull it apart with your hands. And once that's complete, we need to install our molded foam kit over the top of our cotton. Now you want to anchor the foam with the muslin that's glued around the outside edge of the molded foam kit. This will help secure your foam kit and your molded foam kit won't jump around while you're installing your seat cover. You want to come over to your front side, hog ring the molded foam kit to the seat springs, and then finish up by anchoring it on the sides. Now to carefully check and make sure you've done it correctly, you want to flip the foam over on its front side and take a look down through the molded foam. You should be able to see the paper-coated listing wire once you spread it apart a little bit. Now we need to find our center point on our molded foam kit. That way we can ensure our seat cover installation is installed symmetrically. Now we want to start on the front edge. That is the horizontal line that goes side to side. Attach that edge first, come over to the sides on the front to back seam, and attach those last. Now you can carefully take a look at your seat cover while you're installing this to make sure that the seat cover is installed symmetrically and to make sure that you don't have any wrinkles in your seat cover. Symmetry is very, very important at this step. Our next step will be to roll over the vinyl over the outside edge of the molded foam. You want to start with your front edges, making sure the welt or the piping is running in the same direction, and just kind of peel the edges of the vinyl over the edges of the molded foam kit. Now it's a little easier if you compress the molded foam while you're wrapping that edge over. And we want to finish up on the back side. You notice the front edge is not attached. It's very important that you don't attach that front edge. You want to come over and wrap the back edges, and you can secure the back edges. But you want that seat cover to be able to travel a little bit while you're wrapping those last two edges over the top of the seat frame. If you secure it before wrapping these over it, the seat cover will have a tendency to rip. Now once the back edge is secured, we can flip the seat cover over, find out what it's going to look like. You can work a little bit of the vinyl back or front to back or side to side depending on how you need to remove the wrinkles. We need to compress the springs, and on this particular model actually has a plastic listing that clips up underneath the seat frame. It actually just wraps over and snaps into place. There are no hog rings that holds this bottom edge. You see a close-up of the plastic flap, goes over the top edge of the seat frame, bends over and snaps into place. One of our last steps will be to attach the rear stretch panel and the rear stretch panel board. The board actually helps protect the seat cover from prematurely wearing by the seat springs. And we just put the paper coated listing wire through the listing pocket of the rear stretch panel and then hog ring it through the listing pocket around the paper coated listing wire and anchor it to our seat frame. And once you flip it over, you should have a seat cover that's about 90% complete. Now we want to follow the same procedure on our front seat top. Now our front seat top, we anchor the burlap the same exact way. The only difference being on the front seat top, it does not get the 2-inch felt. You want to carefully pull some tension on it, overlapping the corners, and secure the entire perimeter. As we did on our front seat bottom, we want to cut the channels where our molded foam tucks down through. You want to carefully draw down through where we just made those cuts. And again, this is where we'll need to install our paper coated listing wire on top of our burlap. This is where our seat cover is going to tuck down through our molded foam and our cotton and anchor to our seat springs. Again, you want to bend the ends on a 90-degree angle and then just follow the black Sharpie line that you just drew, hog ring around the paper coated listing wire and around the seat springs. And just like we did on our front seat bottom, we want to put a layer of cotton over the top of this. Leave a little excess so you can fold over the edge a little bit, and then feel down on top of the cotton and then split the cotton apart where you've installed your paper coated listing wire. You'll see Randy's cutting it with the scissors. If you don't have the scissors or find it difficult, you can just pull the cotton apart very easily. You want to pull off any excess, leave it a little bit so it wraps over the edges, and then install our molded foam kit over the top of the cotton we just installed, and then secure our molded foam with the muslin that's glued to the molded foam kit. You want to make sure it's installed symmetrically so your seat cover looks symmetrical once your seat cover is installed over the top of your molded foam. You want to secure the horizontal edge and then finish up on your sides and then along the bottom edge. Now you want to make sure that the materials don't bunch up. You can fold them over the top of each other and put an anchoring hog ring in there so that way none of that shows after your seat cover is all installed. Now once again, you want to take a look down through the channels of the molded foam. You want to be able to see that paper coated listing wire that you need to anchor your seat cover to. And again, we find our midway point on our molded foam kit so our seat cover can be installed symmetrically. Start along that top horizontal edge, hog ring around the paper coated listing wire, that sewn into the pocket of the seat cover, and then down through the molded foam kit, down through the cotton, and then hot ringing it around the paper coated listing wire that we attached on top of our seat springs. Now periodically check the center of your seat cover. Make sure everything is all installed symmetrically and wrinkle free. Our next step will be to trim out the oblong circular area which the tilt forward lever goes through after we wrap our seat cover around. Then we want to come over to our front edge, peel the vinyl over the top of the molded foam, and then come down to the bottom section and repeat that process. You want to come over to the opposite side, make sure the piping is turned in the same direction. You want to compress the molded foam and wrap the edge of the vinyl over the top of our molded foam. Now this is a good idea before you secure any hog rings to make sure you don't have too many wrinkles on the front side. Make sure it's installed symmetrically, and then we can flip the seat cover over, start along the top edge by securing it with hog rings around the outside perimeter. Now the back panel is installed with over 2 hooks along that top edge. You want to make sure that the seat cover is underneath those 2 hooks, so when you install your back panel, it slides over the top of those 2 hooks. Once the top edge is secured, you want to come down on the lower edge, secure that, and then work your way towards the top of the seat. Now you want to repeat the process up on the opposite side, carefully working any wrinkles out, and then hot ringing through the seat cover and to the allotted spot on the seat frame. This is a perfect time to flip the seat cover over on its back side, take a look at the front side, make sure your seat cover looks good and is wrinkle free before you wrap that bottom edge over and secure that to the lower portion of the seat frame. Now you want to trim off any excess. Always overlap the materials. Don't just trim it off. Always overlap it and put a hog ring to anchor. Your back panel is going to hide all of this, but it's just a good habit, and I think the strength of the cover will be better if you overlap everything. Now taking a look at our front side, looks like we're in real good shape to attach the front seat top to the front seat bottom. Our first step for attaching our front seat top to our front seat bottom is to cut the area where that post attaches. You make a small X in the material, press the material down on top of the post, and then you can go back around and trim around the post area and make a nice clean cut. A lot of times if you just put that X in there, it's enough to do what you have to do. But we like to cut the small slices in it and then trim around so you have a nice perfect hole. Now when we set our front seat top on top of our front seat bottom, you just pull the arms of the seat out, attach them to our posts, and this completes our seat cover installation minus our plastic pieces.
Well, hopefully this video has been very helpful for you. You can see how easy it is to really get a nice show quality seat. I would like to thank all the people at Legendary Auto Interiors for making this possible. I'd like to thank Randy Brown, and most of all, I'd like to thank you. I'm Ron Halbritter for Legendary Auto Interiors. We'll catch you next time.